Did you know that your mental state affects your dancing? Hello my beautiful subscribers, Rasa the Dancer is here, and today we're going to talk about something that me as a professional teacher, I experience this all the time with my students and with myself as well. So I think I can talk a lot about this situation, and that is how your mental health affects your dancing. And it really does. And if you're saying it doesn't, you're lying to yourself. So there's many different kind of emotions and our mental states that come into the dancing and the practice and the social environment, and it affects us in different ways. Sometimes it affects us in a bad way. Sometimes the dancing helps us to get rid of whatever mental state we are in, but not always. Sometimes it actually affects the dancing and the practice in a bad way. So we're going to talk about these things, and let's see if you can recognize, because I'm sure all of us have been in one or two different mental situations whilst we're dancing. So the first one that I'm gonna mention is a big one, but this is the one that I don't think affects your dancing. I think it works the other way around. The dancing helps you to deal with it. And that's any kind of form of depression. Now, it doesn't heal depression. It helps you to cope and heal while you're doing other healing as well, okay? So, if you really have a real clinical depression, you need to seek help. Dancing is not the answer. It's something that works with other things that you need to do. But some forms, mild forms of depression, or something that we call more like a blues, that you feel depressed, but maybe you're not clinically depressed, it's just a feeling. Dancing is a huge help. So you might come into the class already feeling sad and blue and battling all kinds of things in your head, and maybe feeling not good enough and all kinds of things, or life is not going like you want to. You end up whilst practicing and dancing feeling better about yourself. So this is one of those emotions that usually people come into dancing with, and they keep saying how dancing saved their life, because with each practice they felt better and better and better, and the social environment and people very accepting of who you are. You suddenly don't feel like you are, nothing. You suddenly, somebody who people want to spend time with and dance with. You're learning a skill. You feel like you're getting better. There's music. You're surrounded with music, so it has a bit of that healing power mentally, for sure. So this is one of those things that I think that if you come into the dancing, that's great, because you are gonna heal through dancing and you are gonna feel better. Next one that I notice a lot during dancing or practice specifically, maybe not during dancing, but practice, like when you're learning to dance, anger. I deal with this myself. You're doing it and you were doing it fine, and suddenly it's not happening anymore, and you're practicing and you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and it's just not working. And the angrier you get, the worse it gets. You have to just kind of let it go, leave it, do something else, and just take it as it's one of those days, okay? And then just regroup. So if you're doing something, you're practicing, and it's not working, and you feel like you're getting angry and frustrated with yourself, you gotta leave it. Leave that thing, do something else. Maybe do practice with something that you're usually good at. Maybe just remind yourself some steps that you haven't done for a while. Maybe don't worry about the whole technique or how you look. Nothing that would trigger anger, because as soon as you're angry, it just doesn't work anymore. Your body locks and the flow doesn't happen. That's it. It's gone. So don't waste your time. I always say, listen, regroup. Because it's a waste of time to keep pushing through it. It's not going to work out anyway. Leave it. Whilst you're calming down your mind, do something else, so at least you don't waste your time. This next one, you can call it in two ways: self-deprecation or self-loathing. This is, for me, the worst. Is when the person is in a particular mental state. Sometimes it's just that moment they feel that way, and sometimes that's how they are in general. That's how they shape their mindset, which is not good, like, at all for life in general. But it's, some are every day like that, and some just have moments here and there. Either way, what happens? They come in and they immediately saying how bad they are, how shit they are, how nothing is working, how they are stupid, ugly, dumb, you name it, all kinds of things. Oh, my shoe, my foot, my back, my neck, it's like, stop self-loathing yourself and stop self-deprecating. There is no point for you to be in my class if you have literally nothing that you could say nice about yourself. This sounds bad, but like, there's nothing I can do for you if every sentence that I say, you have another sentence on top to say how bad you are. This is what I mean, right? So it's one thing to think all of the bad things about yourself. It's something you have to work on. But let's say you think all of those bad things, but you're keeping it to yourself, and the teacher is telling you, listen, focus on the things you need to do rather than things you think you are. And you just like, well, I don't like myself, but I'm going to focus on the dance. That's different. That's progress. But what I'm talking about is if I would say, okay, so now we're going to like spin. Oh, I have a lot of weight. I'm so fat. I cannot spin, as nice as other people who are not as fat. Then I would go, I know a lot of fat people who spin better than me. So don't worry, it's about technique. We're going to practice on technique, and I'm sure you're going to do great. And then the person will be like, oh yeah, but I'm never been very good at anything, so probably I'm not going to be good at it anyway. Then I would go, don't worry, you don't need to be very good at it. You just need to be good enough for yourself to feel like you can have a good dance. And they would be like, well, nobody asks me to dance, but that's okay because I'm ugly. All the beautiful people would get more dances. And it's one on top of the other. And in the end, I am like, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I feel like I'm working the job. You know what I mean? So that does not help your dancing. That means you came for a class, but you're searching for somebody to heal something that is not healed within. You need to see some help. You need to find somebody you could talk about these things, because it's not okay. Every time somebody tells you something positive or finds a way that we can move forward, and you have every time a sentence why it's not gonna work, you need to seek help. Those kind of like the main things that I think get in our ways when we practice and all of the rest. The rest is minor. If you're sad, you might change your mood in 5 minutes. And if not having a good day in general, but somebody says something nice and you're like, okay, let's push through. It's different, right? We all have our things that we bring into the dance floor and we bring into the classes, but we recover through it. But those kind of things that I mentioned are big ones. Now, this is the final thing that I'm going to say. It has nothing to do with your mental state. It has to do with your personality. Now, that's a big one. I always say to everybody, when you go to dance and you dance with somebody, whoever they are as a person, they reflect immediately in their dancing. If you are selfish, you will be selfish dancer, selfish follower, or selfish lead. If you are, arrogant, you're gonna be rough in your leading and super arrogant in your following as well. And it's all about me and my styling and all of the rest. And if you're leading, you're probably gonna be really rough. You can work on mental state, but the personality, it will come through. Now, having different personalities is also what makes the dancing so interesting. Everybody's different because we are different and we like different things. So that's great. But you have to watch out because certain traits in the personality that maybe need some work in order to participate in a community. Like if you would be flying solo, nobody cares. You can do whatever you want. But if you are involved in a community, you have to check certain traits of your personality because that might definitely come out in your dancing with the partner. Et voila! This is my little observation about the mental state in the dance, and I am sure you can relate to the things that I've said. And if you think I miss certain things, that's what the comments are for. Guys, in this community, we love to communicate, and I read them all the time, and I'm learning myself. So make sure you share your opinions, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, like the video, share the love, and I will leave you with more videos about mental health. Mwah!